Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
All right. It is the 30th of April, 2026. We're going to go ahead and start this Fishhawk Ranch West HOA meeting. We have myself, Kevin, Scott is on, and Lauren is on. That makes four of us, so we have quorum. So let's get it going. Patty, first thing on the agenda, is it president's comments?
Is president's comments? Yes.
President's comments tonight. The only thing I have is an immense amount of gratitude for our community manager, Patty, for planning and organizing and orchestrating not only the pool event, but the actual installation and construction of probably the single best pool in all of Florida. What a great amenity we have. What a great additive for property value in our community. It doesn't get much better than that. What a great thing. Patty, thank you. Thank you for taking ownership of our community and making it your own.
You're welcome.
That is what I have for president's comments.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
It was great. Thank you, Patty. It really was
Yeah.
good. It was good to see you too. Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, Jeff's on too. We let the record show that Jeff has joined us in the shadows.
In the shadows.
Jeff, turn on your light.
I am always in the shadows.
All right. What's next, Patty? Is it treasurer?
Treasurer's report. Yes.
Treasurer's report. Michael, over to you, sir.
All right. I've got a few things I want to go over with the board tonight. First of all,
Michael, one second, please. If Joe and Jeff, if you guys could mute your microphones, that would be great. Thanks. And I'm going to hit and mute. Go ahead, Michael. Over to you, sir.
Okay, just to follow up on a few things from the last meeting, we talked about reclassing the repair work that was done by Magnolia for some of the electric work that was done at Paired Villas. We had that initially in utilities. We decided to move that to irrigation maintenance instead, so I've done that. We also wanted to reclass the payments to the telecom consulting company for the consulting fee that was paid to them. So what I've done, kind of going back and following up on the Frontier funds, we moved that into deferred revenue as a liability, and we're going to pick up 1/10 of that each year over the 10 years that we have that contract for. So what I've done is I've moved that fee to offset that, because that's essentially what drives that fee right there. So we've moved that off of the budget. And the last thing that we talked about at last meeting was the status of the audit. So I have gotten in touch with, well, first of all, Patty sent me a list of the things that the auditor was looking for. And Patty and I came to the same conclusion that the reports that he's looking for no longer agree with the financial statements that he's been given. So we give him what's called a trial balance, which is a listing of all of our account balances for the year or at the end of the year, and then he'll reach back out and ask for supporting documentation for that. So all of those reports that he's asking for don't agree with the balances that he has. And so I've contacted him to let him know that we can't get him the information he's looking for. I've spoke with him on the phone for quite a bit to find out, what's going on with the status of the audit is, and come to find out that the financial statements that he's getting, or the trial balance that he's getting, there's been adjustments that have been made after he received those balances. So now none of the information in Appfolio agrees with what he originally received. I mentioned that to him. He said, yes, that's what I thought would happen, because that's happened already, as he says, 4 times. So that's part of the reason what's delaying the audit here, that and scheduling on his end. So I went ahead and sent him another trial balance as we have right now for 2024, so we can start working forward on that. So he has that. I've been in contact with him. I am fully aware that we shouldn't be making any further adjustments into 2024 once we close out those books. Otherwise, it's going to continue to cause a problem for him. I think I mentioned before about it. There's a lot of outstanding items in the bank reconciliations. Most of those were 2025, which I got rid of those. We did have a couple that were in 2024, which we still have. I'm not getting rid of those until we get done with the audit, so we can finish up what he needs to do before we can move forward on that. But anyway, that's where we stand with the audit. I let him know that I would continue to work with him on getting him whatever he needs to move forward with that, because he's already been paid. He's already been paid a retainer to do the audit. And he's more than willing to get it done and wants to get it done. But every time that we send him a new and updated trial balance, he's got to start over again. So it's, kind of a frustrating process for him as well. But I let him know that going forward, we're not going to be doing that, and we should be able to get him the information he needs. The next thing we had talked about was the tax return. I have completed the tax return for 2025. I tried to allocate as much of the expenses over to offset the taxable income we have as much as I could justify anyway, and we end up owing $1,021 for 2025. We ended up owing $5,100 for 2024. So it's a little bit less in terms of the income tax that we'll owe for 2025. And just to circle back to the frontier, that started in 2026, so none of that is taxable yet, and we won't have to worry about that till next year. Um, Also, as far as the payment goes, we're back to the tax return. I'll send a copy to Thomas so that way he can take a look at it. Once he reviews it, he can sign off on it. I can go ahead and e-file that to the IRS. And then as far as the payment goes, the IRS does require payments online for everything, especially for companies. So we do have an EFTPS login that we can use. We had to use the old accountant's information before. I don't remember her last name, but Rebecca was the treasurer's name. So she was very nice about that. But I mentioned because the EFTPS is it's all connected with her social security number and her information on there. So I'm sure she'd prefer us not using that anymore going forward. So I have one through my firm here, so we'll use that going forward to make the payments for for the HOA. And that's basically as far as what we had talked about for last month. For this month, a few other things to go over. On the financials, I did go ahead and do the reconciliation through March, and I've sent those statements to Patty as well as Mark and Thomas, but that was through March. So I want to go ahead and take a look and see where we're at right now as of April 30th, because March was basically a month ago. Right now, as far as the budget variances, now again, what I'm looking at is the actual expenses through today as compared to what the budget is. So, like the first 4 months or the first third of the annual budget. So, on the master budget, we are over because of the events expense, and that's because of the Easter event. So, that's kind of a one-time thing that'll kind of smooth out as the year goes on. So, no real concerns there. The other thing is insurance. So insurance is over. And as I mentioned last month, that's mainly because of annual premiums that we're paying. So what I'm going to do this month or in May is go back into the amount that we have in there for insurance and move that to a prepaid expense because that's basically what that is. And that's what we've done before in the past. And then just pick up 1/12 of that each month so it doesn't throw off our budget. The next thing under the master budget was the landscape maintenance is over. It's also close to the annual budget at this point, and so is irrigation. Now, I think that's mainly because of the renovation that was done for the pool as well as the lake house. So what I want to do in May as well is go back and take a look at those expenditures and see if I can reclass some of those to go along with the capital expense for the pool renovation because technically that should be included along with that. That way, again, I can move that off of the budget so it doesn't throw those numbers off because if it's part of that project, it should be capitalized along with part of that project.
Right.
The next one is paired villas. Everything is okay there. I didn't see any issues. Everything was essentially under budget after that reclass was done for the electrical work from Magnolia. Westlake, we still have that under budget issue for assessments. I mentioned that last month. It's still under budget by about the same amount, 12%, or about $3,000. Now, I know from talking with Patty and Jennifer that it doesn't appear there's any late assessments. So this may be more of a budget issue than anything else. We may have too high of a budget for those assessments. I'll make a note on that. So when it comes time again at the end of the year to go through and create the budget, we kind of keep that in mind, or at least we can take a look and see how the assessments look at that point for Westlake.
Yeah, because I pulled the forecast for the annual budget for Westlake, and it's showing January, February, March, and actuals was income was $6,836, and we have budgeted 7,790.
Right.
I didn't
Okay.
get to dive deeper, but that might be what it is. But
Yeah.
I'll look. I know I should have over the past month, but I didn't get time to. Sorry.
I'll take a look at that as well for Westlake. It's not a real big concern. It's not a huge amount, but something to keep an eye on anyway. The next one is Sagewood. We did have an issue last month, which was the utility cost was over budget by about 1,400 or 25% of the budget at that time. It does look like there was an expense for utility costs in December that's been included in there. So I've gone back and reclassified that and moved that back into 2025 so that we have it in the correct fiscal year, the correct month anyway. And landscape maintenance for both Sagewood and for the last one, which is Sandpiper Crest, is over, and that has a lot to do with removing of dead plants and new landscaping that's been put in for those two properties. But it's still under the annual budget, so not a huge concern.
Right, and that money is actually the hurricane money, the contingency money that we plan
Right.
on for hurricanes that we hopefully we won't get this year. So at the end of the year, it should balance out.
Hopefully, it's a quiet year this summer.
Yes.
The last thing is that the W-2s for Patty and Jennifer, those have been corrected. And the next step is to go ahead and correct the payroll returns, the quarterly returns, the 941 and the 940s, which I should be able to take care of that in May as well. And that is it.
Excellent report, Michael. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Michael, great job.
Thank you.
Any questions from any board members about the budget or any of the money?
Nope.
Before these meetings, Patty, I know we probably have some things on the agenda tonight. Do we send the list of expenses that we're looking to approve to Michael ahead of the meeting so he can evaluate and say, hey, you have money for this, or no, you don't, before it even makes the agenda?
I don't have a breakdown of it. I just put it on the agenda.
Okay, gotcha.
Future.
Just curious. All right. Next thing I think after treasurer is secretary and VP reports. You guys have anything? I don't think the secretary's on. We don't have Henry.
No, not again.
Kevin, anything from you tonight?
No, just echoing what you said earlier about the pool and all the hard work that Patty's put in, and just a huge thank you.
Absolutely. One saved round from president's comments while we're still in officer comments. The election is still ongoing, and we don't have enough votes yet to close it out one way or another, so it will remain open. Jennifer is actively petitioning the neighborhood to get out and vote. So if anybody's watching this video and you haven't voted yet in the charter change, please vote one way or another, whichever way, just so we can come to a decision. That's it. All right. Next on the agenda, Patty, what's next?
Draft meeting minutes. We had the meeting minutes from April 2nd, and then the Zoom meeting for April March. Sorry, we have two sets because we had to reschedule the meeting.
Motion to approve those two sets of meeting minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Sounds like Jeff's. All in favor, say aye.
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 None opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you. And yeah, this month I included the executive report from Luther, which I think is great. So he's actually sending, and he's doing even more now that the pool's open. He's sending graphs of what happens and what's going on. It's great. It's absolutely amazing.
That was a very good way and a good visual representation to be able to see what's going on in the community and then get a really quick recap. So I love that report. It's awesome.
Me too, because it's perfect. It's like, we could just glance over it and, at the facilities, there was 3%, health and safety, there was 1, and people and assets, there were 9. So 13 incidents overall in the month. So giving him that promotion has definitely paid off. And he is absolutely.
What do we do if some of the things I read through from his reports are awesome. Some of the things I read through from him seem to involve the same people multiple times. At what point does he or do we do anything about that? I mean, they don't seem super major, but it does seem like it's almost becoming something recurring. And I
Right.
can't tell if it was teenagers or adults, etc. But it seems like he's dealing with a lot, and it seems like it's like a couple of the same people.
Yes. So every time we have any kind of violation, people bringing an additional person into the gym or doing anything additional, we shut off the key fob and a letter is sent to
Okay.
them the next morning. So the
Oh,
first offense is 2 weeks, then it's 30 days, then it's 60. We have one who is actually indefinite right now because of the steps we had to take. And then they come to in front of the board and they ask for their key fobs back.
Okay.
So,
got it. No, thank you.
you're welcome. And next we have the appeal for 13924 Kingfisher Glen Drive, the extension of their driveway. So they live in Encore and they have two car garage, but they have vehicles. I sent some pictures in addition to the board packet this afternoon. And Joe will be able to speak in a minute. So he just wants to extend 3 feet on the side.
Mm.
The only thing is nobody else in Encore has this. There's been no extension like this done before.
Can I talk, Patty, to that?
Absolutely.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a Zoom guy per se, but that's not true. As a matter of fact, Watercolor Alley, we live on the alley, yeah. Anyhow, we were talking, the whole alley is driveways. So there's the ARC committee first said, "Oh, this is going to change everything. Everybody's going to," and the initial intent of the developer was to have them all the same. Basically, no one's going to see this. It's there. If you look down at Watercolor Alley, it's all driveways. My neighbor right across the street, I'm looking at his house right now. He's on the alley also, and he extended his driveway. Okay, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but it's the first house as you're talking. So I don't know if he got a board and an ARC okay to do that, but he has a big pickup truck and he needed to do that. And when I first arrived here 2 years ago, he basically gave me the idea. I said, "Wow, that's a pretty good idea to do that," because he has this pickup and he couldn't get all the cars on the driveway. So, and I think I did everything correct as far as the package. This guy, my contractor to do this, has done it many times. He has insurance. I got a certificate of insurance from him for liability for $300,000 for any property damage. And believe me, no one, my neighbor, my villa mate has not objected. He said, "Sure, go ahead." And I told him we're in the appeal process. So I don't know what else I can add other than I did take 2 pictures. Patty was nice enough to send those to you guys. And I had both of the vehicles on the driveway. And hopefully you're looking at that right now, or you already had. And you can't open both of the doors at once. I mean, you can't, how somebody parks next to you in the parking lot and you can't even get out of your drive, the driver's seat. Well, that's the situation we have with our driveway as it is now. Yeah, and then pulling one out of the driveway, the new Toyota, we just got a pretty new Toyota, and it's a little bit wider, not much. And man, I have to go out there and make sure she doesn't hit the other car, and we're parked all the way to the right-hand side. So it would just be convenient, guys. It's not anything that I think is earth-shattering. It'll be done nice. These guys are professionals. What's that? And it's matches. Yeah, everything's going to match because the guy took. Yeah, and then, but that was my wife. And she said, besides that, if we don't get this, we're going to be parking on the lawn, on the grass, and that's going to be dead. So that's going to look like junk also. So I'm just appealing to you for the board to, in my opinion, do the right thing and just allow us to do this. I'll take pictures when it's finished so you guys can take a good look at how nice it looks. But anyhow, the art committee One other thing, when they rejected my original proposal to them on 3.5, one of the guys said, I asked, because 3 out of the 5 guys who were on the Zoom at the time said, yeah, I have no problem. Yeah, no problem. Another guy pops up, yeah, no problem. And there was one guy who said no, and he's the one who stuck to his guns and said that it had to be unanimous. And because he was the lone guy that said no to this thing that we wanted to do, it was rejected. So I don't know if that's true also, that, I thought maybe it should have been 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 said yes. One guy said no, and so it gets rejected. I don't know if that's true to the ARC committee bylaws or what have you, but I wanted to bring that up also. So anyhow, my hat's in my hand, asking you guys permission to do this, and it would really help our household for sure.
Am I correct in reading the picture that you're only doing it on one side?
That is correct,
okay.
Mark. Yes.
And you're using the same pavers that I see your driveway is already made of pavers. Are you using the same pavers that it's already made of?
Yes, that is correct. We are, and it'll just be an extension. Probably won't even be 3 feet. However, it'll be close to 2.5 to 3 feet. And my neighbor's okay with it. The other thing, as far as symmetry of these driveways, all these driveways in the villas are not the same. There's 2 types of villas. A larger one, I forget the square footage. I think the larger one's about 1,800, which is ours. And then there's smaller ones where they put 2 smaller ones together, and those have a large. All those driveways, those 2 are together, so they're very wide, and they can fit 4 cars on either side of the villa nicely. So that shoots down that thing that they're not all the same, is what I'm saying. And the art committee thought that.
Can I say something? Okay,
sure.
Can I say something? I went down and I looked, and I have to tell you, at first, I was really adverse to doing anything. However, I saw the situation. I saw what's in the surrounding area. When I spoke to your neighbors, they had no problem with it. I think that it should be okay, but it should be individually looked at instead of just giving a carte blanche to anybody. In your case, I understand the problem because I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
At first, like I said, I was totally against you doing it, but I took a walk down there, and I have to change my mind on that.
Hey, Jeff. Joe, can I interject? So, Joe, as the delegation, the representative from Encore, you don't have a problem with this?
No.
Okay, motion to approve the driveway extensions. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Kevin seconds. Any further discussion or questions?
No.
No.
Thank you for going through the right channels to do this, though. I appreciate you following the rules. Appreciate that.
Great call out, Kevin. Agree.
Yep. All in favor, say aye.
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 Hey, thank you, guys.
Hey,
thank you very much.
Hey,
Yes,
have a great night, Joe.
Do I get a letter or something for acceptance? Or?
Yes, we'll send you a letter tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, board. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hey,
and the pool does
have
look
a great night.
And the pool looks wonderful.
Thank you.
Great job, guys.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I tell you, Jeff, when you talked about how the driveways, I'm looking at the satellite imagery right now, and they are all different.
Yeah.
It's not like a uniform. Some are really wide, some are really narrow.
Especially where he lives.
Mm-hmm.
This section
and
there.
You couldn't tell unless you looked at the satellite image. That's why I sent it around, because I thought you could see the differences between the houses.
Yeah.
So thought that was helpful.
The ARC, their only thing was it was between the doors. But if it's only on one side and the board doesn't have a problem with it, and I did, Jeff stopped in today and I sent him on a mission.
Yeah.
To look at it personally. So.
All right, let's move on to the next thing.
The next thing we're going to have is the Master Association. So I was in, it's actually under Sandpiper. It should be under Sand. With the water restrictions, the homeowners have been receiving letters that they are watering against the guidelines. So
Oh.
they're told that, yeah, that they're gonna be fine. So Sandpiper is actually under the HOA. Sandpiper, Paired Villas and Sagewood. So the HOA is responsible for it. So because it was actually during the day instead of at night, we can, there's 70 over in Sandpiper. Let me back up. Over in Sandpiper, there are 76 sprinkler heads that need to be watered, zones.
Mm.
Can't do all of them in one night. They do have to be done in 2 nights over the 12 to 4 a.m. So we can ask for a variance. So I was speaking to Gail Huff from Sprinkler Solutions, and she said that we can request a variance for the irrigation because of the location we have. For her to fill out the paperwork, which the paperwork is in there, is $500. I didn't realize it was going to be such a simple process to fill it in. I don't know if there's more to it, but do we want to pay $500 to have her submit it and walk it through the,
What is the variance for? So we can water all zones on the same day?
so we
No.
can have water on 2
Over
days.
2 days.
But if I remember correctly, it's $75 for the first offense for the first house.
Yeah.
And then the second offense is $500 per house.
Yes. And then,
So the $500 to get the variance, well, it's in my opinion, a cash grab from the county, another way to tax us.
Right.
It's a lot better than paying a boatload of fines for all those homes.
Yeah, agree, Kevin.
and we just installed a whole bunch of plants over there too.
Okay.
All right. Motion to
Is that
approve $500 to
recycled?
apply. There's no guarantee that it's going to get approved, right?
Is
Right.
this recycled water or is this regular?
Over in Sandpiper, it is reclaimed water.
Okay. All right.
Oh. Yeah. Motion to approve the
that-
$500 variance fee. Second.
I'll second.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Somebody got it. Scott or Kevin or somebody. All in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Motion carries.
Okay, the
Next one.
Next one is from work order 22041 5754 Skytop Drive for a sod replacement. At
Mhm.
this, I don't think we should be replacing sod, but if the board wants to approve it until it's time to resod, so we don't have to go through it at that point.
I think we wait until we start getting some rain because otherwise we're going to have another sprinkler issue, right?
I agree. Yeah.
And I mean, the same thing, and we have the same thing over on Hometown, sod replacement. And even Tom wasn't able to be here tonight because he's on vacation this week. But even his suggestion is he will not put any sod down unless you actually tell him, put it down and you don't have to warranty it.
Mhm.
Can
I
we
guess the
kick it another
question is-
month and see if the
Right.
rains come?
Yeah, I can put all this back on next month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because if
let's
the
do
weather
that.
changes and we
Yeah.
start getting our afternoon rains like we're supposed to, then I think that would make sense. But to put it down to
Yeah.
replace it again is kind of silly.
Yeah. Yeah, Patty, just quick comment, this is Scott, but I drove paired villas today. And I, like even the stuff you're showing here makes sense. I think there's a couple other areas we probably want to look at, but I completely agree that we wait until we see if we get some rain before we do anything sodding, but I'm totally aligned on that.
I agree.
Because then people have to pay extra for the water, in addition, it just doesn't make sense to do it right now.
Yeah, it just requires so much to get it to bed in, so, and we won't be able to do that. So totally aligned.
All right. We're going to punt that till next month then.
Yep, same
Yep.
thing.
All right. Nothing from Sagewood, right? And then Paired Villas is the 2 landscaping sod replacements, and we're going to push that till next month. Westlake, nothing. Old Business, conceptual designs for the dog park fitness center, not ready yet?
No, not ready yet because we have to make a payment. I actually met with them last week.
Yeah. Oh,
and
are we paid up on the pool? I keep getting notices that I owe them like $150,000.
You owe them about 169, then another 22, and then 27. Yes.
What
So, so Michael sends a batch approval to Thomas to approve, and then those checks go out.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Michael, did you send that to Thomas so he has it?
Yeah, there were 3 large payments, and it probably totals around that amount that was sent, and it just needs to be approved, and those will get sent out. That's part of the check send feature in Outfolio, so they'll go ahead and automatically send a check out for us as soon as it gets approved.
So,
All right.
I'll poke Thomas tomorrow. I'll send him a text. He had something with his wife for She's
Yeah.
getting it tonight.
Yeah, I sent him a text already just to let him know, and he gave me the thumbs up.
Okay, good. And then I'll get on. But yep, next month, so we should have conceptual plans for the fitness room and for the dog park. Or
Nice.
pickle-
What are they knocking down the glass wall, or are they just building something on the other side of the glass wall?
I don't know. I don't think we should knock down the glass wall because we have the big cement pillars.
Yeah.
Just,
I agree. Yeah.
just make a walkway and then make it a whole separate gym.
Mm,
You
that's
know,
when-
have an, entrance.
yeah, like a hallway or something. Okay. That's it, right? There's nothing else.
There's nothing else.
And there's no residents online, so that's it.
There we
Next
go.
month, we'll pay the price for-
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, look at
I second.
yeah,
All
I'm
in
gonna
favor-
I'm gonna throw in a third just to keep it going.
Okay.
All right. All right. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Have a great
Great
night, everyone.
Yeah,
Have a
All
good
right.
one, everybody. Safe
Thanks.
travels,
Take care.
Marcus.
Stay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye bye.